Back at it again with another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G. Today we're gonna react to the best album rollouts in the underground. Let's get right into the video.
To be an artist in the underground nowadays, there's like 15 million things you have to do besides making music.
That audio was loud.
And this can take many forms like ad-libs, clothing, even where they post stuff on social media. Now, some people do take this a little bit too far, like they lean a little bit too much into the character, and then people start calling them gimmick rappers. And it gets to a point where they're more known for their actions than they are for their actual music, which in my opinion is the worst thing possible for an artist. So obviously, you need to have a really good balance of both so people take you seriously, but they also tap into your music. So that's why today...
Yeah, you gotta have your own sound too, your own style and everything.
We're going to be looking at the best album rollouts in the underground. Now, if you don't know what a rollout is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's basically any way that you let people know that you dropped it. Now, this is important because obviously, if you don't promote your music, then nobody's going to listen to it. And I've been seeing people drop some really good music, but because they barely advertise it, nobody listened to it. So a good rollout is...
Promotion, marketing is key. He is right about that. I'm gonna make sure I put his what's the name? His video in my description of the video. I'm gonna put his video in my description. So yeah, let's continue.
really important. And honestly, it might be as important as making the music itself. Now, over the past couple of years in the underground, I've been seeing some crazy rollouts. Like people getting actual teams to work on it for them, or partnering with actual companies, or even getting crazy cosigns. They've been taking it really serious lately, and I think that's cool. You know, besides the whole advertisement angle, it also just makes the music way more interesting to listen to. So like I said, we're gonna go through and talk about the most iconic rollouts. I don't know if I'm gonna rank them, but I'm gonna definitely discuss them and talk about what made them so effective. And as always, if you don't agree with anything I say in this, like, was really his breakout moment. Now, just for some background, TDF has been releasing albums. I think he releases at least one
I
every
don't know.
year.
All right, we're gonna cover the people we know. So let's cause I have things I have to get to. So I'm not familiar with this artist. It looks like he's an underground artist though. Dang, we have an ad. All right, hold on. Let's give it a second.
When we got is Flex Music by Osama.
All right, hold on. Give me a second.
So far, I feel like this project definitely had the most hype leading up to its release. Now, as we all know, a couple months prior, he had just released his first project, Osama Season, which basically brought him from regular underground level to top of the underground almost instantly. I think it is a little interesting that he dropped so soon after he had just dropped his first project.
I like Osama Son. He's actually not bad. I like 2 songs from him off 2 projects.
I feel like usually artists let the music breathe a little bit because it's not good to spam albums back to back. But I feel like him not waiting is one of the first reasons of why Flex Music did so well. Osama did what so many others in his spot failed to do, and that's strike when you're hot. He could have rode the Osama Season wave until at least like maybe next year and then drop again that summer. But he recognized that he had all these eyes on him, and people, especially in the underground, have very short attention spans. The logic I be seeing nowadays is crazy. People be like, if you're not constantly dropping 24/7, you're not constantly engaging with your fans 24/7, the next day they will say you fell off.
I drop an album at least once every year. I drop at least, I used to drop at least 2 to 3 albums a year, but now I drop one album a year, you know, to let, albums soak in and let people listen and hear.
You can't really afford to take breaks nowadays, so in the end, I think he definitely made the right move. Now, the next thing that definitely helped the rollout that a lot of people might not agree with, but in my opinion is true, is all of the clone allegations that he was receiving around this time. Now, even nowadays, I still see people calling Osama a Ken clone, an Opium clone, or just calling him unoriginal. But back then, nearly any time Osama would do anything, people would say he's body. It didn't matter if it was a post, a snippet, or just him performing.
I think it's all just a marketing strategy. That's all it is, to gain more traction, and that's all it is.
always look at him and compare
There's nothing wrong with that.
him to someone or something else. Now, the reason I say this helped him is because people don't realize the one unpatched method for promo is comparison. Like I'm telling y'all, it works every single time. Really, all you gotta do is just make a post saying like, "Oh, this artist is the next this artist," or like, "Does this artist sound like this artist?" Or people are saying this artist sounds like this. It's really no downside because if the person doesn't sound or act anything like the person they're being compared to, then it's just easy rage bait and engagement bait. But if they do, then they usually end up getting fans from the other person because obviously people just like to listen to the same type of stuff they already listen to. So in Osama's case, he definitely experienced this, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but I feel like towards the end, he definitely started trolling. Some of the stuff he posted, he only posted it because he knew people were gonna say something. But to be fair, if I was getting free promo, then I would probably do the same. But the last and most important part of the entire rollout was
I be doing free promo too.
the aesthetic and the team he used to bring about his vision for the actual album. Every time he would make a new post or drop a new video, it would just be so unique and fit the music so well. I think the two main creative people in his team are GK and Stan. Their style was definitely made for Osama. I think there was one other person, but I don't know why, I'm just not remembering his name right now. But yeah, this rollout was great and it paid off because this album did extremely well. I'm pretty sure it's still his most streamed album to date, and in my opinion, it's still his best one. I feel like the Flex rollout was obviously very heavily stylized and it relied a lot on aesthetic, but the music didn't take a backseat, and if anything, it was just enhanced. And I feel like a lot of these underground artists have been taking notes from Osama recently, but they're not doing it correctly. Alright, next on my list is Badass Fucking Kid by Ness.
No, I don't listen to him. But he does hail from Virginia, which is my hometown, so shout out to him. But let's continue to the next artist. I know he did bring the jerk sound back, which is cool. Let's continue. He definitely did get some cosigns. I could see that. Hold on, what's the next artist? Who's he gonna call? Oh, Yeet. Let's see.
The Tactics. Alright, the last album we got on this list is Up To Me by Yeet. Yeet is arguably the most successful artist to ever come out of the underground.
Yeah, in this era, certain eras, yeah, I can agree with that.
I feel like his run is the only one that can truly be described as generational. Not only has his music, in my opinion, aged the best out of everybody from that wave of underground, but there's also nobody from 2021 and onwards that I feel like has really replicated his run and what he did back then. Like, it's 2025, and I mean, we've had some impressive runs as we've discussed in this video, but nobody really like Yeet. And it's a reason why even nowadays he's still really relevant. I mean, he's still dropping music and people still tapping it. Now, I'm not going to do a whole breakdown about how he blew up and everything because I feel like that story has been told a million times, but I think we definitely do have to talk about what set him apart from the rest of the underground at the time.
See, when it comes to him, like his music, I don't really listen to him anymore. I don't listen, yeah. His new sound, not really a fan of it. His older work is okay. I like, some of his discography, but let's continue.
Now, the big reason for a lot of these artists in 2021 going up, and something that's still a big factor nowadays, is TikTok. Since honestly the quarantine days, the underground has had TikTok in a chokehold. Even if you don't interact with that type of content, pretty much all the popular sounds nowadays either come from or were directly influenced by the underground. And this all started back in 2021. Now, as viral as some of these other artists were, nobody had a bigger, I'd say, monopoly on the market than Yeet. Where some people only had like 1 or 2 songs go viral, he had at least like 5 songs blow up. And unlike some of these other artists, it wasn't just strictly TikTok fame, it was translating into real streams. So what made Yeet different? Well, I feel like first of all, I mean, the music.
He had his own style, his own flow, his own beats and all that.
Music was just good. Sorry About That, Money Twerk, Off the Lot, those are still songs I played to this day personally.
He ain't like one of my favorites, but I can name in this. I know some songs by him and some of his discography.
The deeper reason, and a lot of y'all not gonna like this, but just stay with me here. Yeet was a gimmick rapper. Now, gimmick is a term that's mostly used in a derogatory manner. I mean, I use it in a derogatory manner at the beginning of the video, but really the definition, at least according to Google, is just a trick or device intended to attract attention, publicity, or business. And leading up to the release of Up To Me, Yeet used several gimmicks to promote his music and himself as a person. The first quote unquote gimmick he used was the kind of music that he made. Now, as I said earlier, the music was good, but I feel like a part of the reason it was good is because that was just the kind of music that was popular at the time. As we all know, a couple months earlier, Cardi had just dropped Whole Lotta Red, and the album pretty much
Yeah, so around that time, like the subgenre, the pioneer sound of all that, this was the time around the rage sound. So rage was the thing.
changed not only underground music but also mainstream music. It changed how people rapped, it changed beats, it changed pretty much everything. Now, I was never one of those people to call Yeet a Cardi clone, and I'm still not calling him a clone, but you can't deny that he took heavy inspiration from the beats that Cardi used and maybe a little bit in the delivery, but again, like everybody else. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it was easier for you.
I mean, he did use Wake Up Filthy. I mean, he used the producer. I mean, but a lot of these producers share producers. It's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all, people collab, they help each other, so.
Go with that style of music because it was already popping at the time. And that's not a bad thing, it's just a fact. The next part of this whole gimmick thing is probably the most blatant example of it, and it's the bell. I'm not gonna lie, the smartest thing he ever did was capitalize off the whole bell thing. Now, if you listen to any music in your life, any genre, then you know that bells.
Hold on, is this it? Well, I have to go. It's only 3 minutes left. We did watch most of this. That was the best album rollouts in the underground. Tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like, comment. And yeah, Uriah out.